So I wanted to show you how I got the results for this sanding experiment. This is a cube that is unsanded, okay? I wanted to show you how I did this and how I got the data because I'm not going to take the 2 or 3 days that it's going to take to do this experiment because I want to get to getting these cubes glued together, these puzzle cubes. So we're going to look at the end grain and we're going to sand the end grain. I took 2 cubes and labeled them 1 and 2, and I labeled one side A and one side B of each cube, so no matter which way. I sanded these 2 cubes, this side, with the 120 grit, and this is how I did it, just like I showed you how you're going to sand. You're going to sand it like this, and I did it 8 times like this. 1, 2, and I did it really hard, not super hard, but I pressed down and did it 8 times. And then I measured it before and I measured it after. And what the measurements told me is that it took away a certain amount. I used 120 grit and I did it 4 times. I did it on the A side, the B side, and the A side and the B side of number 2. So I had 4 trials, and the data you'll see is of those 4 trials. But I didn't just use 120. I used 180, 220, and 320. So that you can get a really good idea of how much the sandpaper is going to take off because, and this is a key, you are trying to get your end grains to a dimension between 1.000 and 0.995. So let's say I measure a cube and this end grain dimension is 1 point. Let's say I'm showing you how to measure. I'm kind of sliding it through. It looks like it's 1.000 here, but 997 there, 998, 999. It's not going to be exact, okay? There's nothing like exact when you talk about wood. It's to the thousandths of an inch for a piece of wood. It's a crazy idea. But we're going to use that crazy idea. So I've got about 1.001 right here. You see 1.001. Now I'm adding a little pressure with my thumb just to make sure it's nice and tight in there. And it's a little bit more, a little bit less, but it's about 1.001 here. So I'm going to go with that maximum dimension. If I was going to sand this cube and I wanted to get it to really 0.995 is the ideal. This is the ideal dimension. But anywhere between these 2 dimensions is fine. So what you're going to do is use the particular grit that sands the right amount. Now you want the end grains to be smooth, and I want you to look very closely. I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to ask you to look very closely at these 2 cubes because one would glue well and the other one would not glue very well. So you can see the difference. This one is unsanded and this one is sanded. I sanded it with a 120, 180, 220, and then 320, and you can see how smooth and how clear that grain looks. Whereas this one, unsanded, you can't really tell the difference between the saw marks and the end grain. And that's it.